Hey, what's going on? This is the Objective Jerk, and I am said jerk. How is you? How's you doing? Hope everybody's doing good. What are your thoughts on Pope Leo the 14th? Right? I think that's his name. Um, wasn't the one I was hoping for, but I prayed when doing the rosary, when doing the part that's for the Pope, I did the prayer, the Our Father, Hail Mary, and all that, and I just asked for the Pope we need right now. Just not necessarily the best overall Pope, or even the one that I want, that I think would be a good one. Which was Sarah. I didn't be like, oh, Sarah needs to be the Pope. I just asked for the best one for the church, and so hopefully this guy will be it. I don't know much about him though, so we'll find out. But he's the first North American person, is from Chicago, or born in Chicago and stuff. So speaks many languages. So we'll see. Hopefully, hopefully he turns out to be awesome. Anyway, this is probably going to be a little bit longer than I normally do because I had an individual reach out to me, and this is kind of going to be like my version of an interview with somebody. Let me explain. So I don't do interviews, obviously. I've thought about it, and I tried once. I had a friend, and I did one, but it wasn't working right. It didn't sound good, so I have to get the little programming board or whatever you call it. But I don't know. That's not really kind of what my goal is. It's just selfishly. This is kind of more just for me to kind of get things off my chest. That's how it is right now. Can it change and can it evolve? Yeah, of course. But I don't know. But I get emails or comments all the time about, hey, I love your podcast. Would you like to? I noticed you don't have as many viewers. I can help you get more. So it's just marketing, trying to get some, so I can pay for people to get some viewers, which would probably be bots and it'd be fake, and it's not like legit viewers. The viewers I have, although some of it is just videos that come up like on Rumble or something that automatically play. People don't actually watch it, but the viewers I do have are organic, They are like, what's this dude? What? And then listen to it, and maybe they like it. And I know, I would say, I don't know, I probably have about 20 regular listeners, I would guess. I have more than that comes around, and you get, because people maybe, let me check out this guy. But I think maybe I have actually, I would say 20, which is, that's nothing, but it's fine for me. That's, like I said, I'm not trying to be the next Rogan or anything like that. Just gives me something to do, and I would prefer, if it was to grow, like all of a sudden it did get, somewhat popular, cool, but I think it'd be cool for that to happen organically, which will take longer. But in the end, it's like, it's not really my goal. I just, the idea of having hundreds and hundreds of emails and requests or all kinds of stuff seems a little like, I don't know, a little overwhelming, Right now it's pretty easy. But so I get these emails and these comments about, hey, I can whatever, this and that. And they're all pretty much the same thing. Except I did get an email from an individual that it wasn't, well, here, I'll just read it to you. Let me just I'll read you the email I got from this guy, and then I'll explain more. I don't know why I'm trying to be so, like, secretive. Excuse me. Okay. Come on. All right, so I got an email from Kiwan Amey is his name, but it's spelled Kijuan Amey. So Kiwan Amey. I made sure I found out how to pronounce it before I did this. So I did a little research on him, but I'll get to that later. All right, so I got this email. It says, "Hey, Jerk. I hope this message finds you well. I've been tuning into your Objective Jerk podcast and the recent episode about Good Friday Mass and your connection with the Quiet Monday services resonated with me. As a fellow veteran who has had his own spiritual journey, I love the opportunity to share my story with your audience. My path from military service to overcoming a life-altering injuries embodies perseverance and faith, values that your listeners connect with deeply, sincerely." And he's got a link to a book, which I'll talk about a little bit more. So, my first thought is like, okay, well, obviously it's not a marketing. I mean, if this guy's marketing, he wrote a book. Well, first thing I was like, okay, let me make sure this thing's legit. So there's a link for his book. I'm not going to click on it right away because I don't know. So I don't, look him up on Facebook. He's got a Facebook account and you can see some interviews on different podcasts. So he's doing his thing, getting his name and his book and his story out there, So I'm like, cool, he reached out to my little podcast. I'm sure it's just because, I talk, I'm a veteran and I talk about faith and stuff, and you can see from that email. So, but I'm not, I'm very brash Catholic, I guess you could say. I'm still working on it. But so here was my response. I was like, "Hey, thanks so much for reaching out. I'd love to hear your journey, but sadly, my podcast is very basic. I don't have the switchboard, nor do I have this set up to have guests. Maybe someday I will, but as for now, I can't. I would still love to hear your story and share on my podcast if you are willing. You can send me a mini bio and I can read it and share my thoughts regarding it. Let me know and look forward to hearing back from you again. Thanks for listening. God bless." Okay. So I sent that email, and then he sent one back. He's like, "I understand. I have attached my bio to this email for your usage. Feel free to send me the link to the podcast recording when you finish. Thanks in advance." So cool, so it gives me something to, and this is kind of, eventually I would like to do some things like this. I'd like to, maybe someday I'll get a guest. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you think, I think it might ruin my shtick or whatever you want to call it, my niche. I don't know, but we'll see, right? Okay. But so just a quick thing on this guy. So Kiwan Amey, he spent 10 years in the U.S. Air Force. He achieved the rank of Staff Sergeant, but he ended up, losing all that on May 5th, 2017, when a motorcycle accident claimed his eyesight. So he had to medically retire, which sucks. Losing your eyesight. So, I've had discussions with people before. What would you, and I'm sure you have too, everybody has these. Would you rather lose your sight when you're older or be born blind? Like, what's the differences and stuff? I always kind of thought having it later, because then you could still know what people are talking about when they're describing it to you. You know what I mean? Not to say that like, oh, this guy don't have it that bad, but I don't know. But then you kind of know what you're missing. So then I think psychologically it could affect you worse than if you were just born blind. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then my other question is, what do you think would be worse, being deaf or blind? When I was younger and I was really into music, I used to think I'd rather be blind so I can still listen to music. I can fully enjoy music in its entirety. You know what I mean? Because if you're blind, if you're deaf, you can watch a movie with subtitles, but you're not getting the full effect. You're only getting part of it. At least with music and your hearing, you get the full effect. But as I've gotten older, though, I think I've kind of changed my attitude towards that, because music isn't as important to me as it was when I was younger. So I think I would rather be deaf, and so I could still read, because then, reading is at just the point in time in my life, so I don't know. But yeah, so it's got to be rough, being, I don't know, mid-20s, maybe even 30, and then losing your eyesight. He then focused on a career in academia, earning a degree, and is now a founder and CEO behind Aimey Motivation.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So, hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. Besides his military career, Kiwan is, in a word, a renaissance man with 25 years of drumming, plus onstage acting, and now an upcoming best-selling book entitled Don't Focus on Why Me. Formerly serving as the vice president of the Carolina Regional Group of the Blinded Veterans Association, Kiwan is also a mentor and ambassador for the Air Force Wounded Warriors Program. One of Kiwan's mottos is, "I have lost my sight, but I did not lose my vision." That's not his bio. He sent it. I'll read that here in a minute. But so, immediately I've got, faith. I mean, I don't know if he's Catholic or not, but he's a Christian. He's a veteran. He likes to play the drums. But he seems to be a little more optimistic than I am. I'm a very pessimistic, cynical kind of person. Like, I have optimism, like I hope for it. I'm hopeful, but I don't know. Very cynical. But yeah, it would be kind of cool to talk with this guy, to actually interview. This would probably be my chance to really kind of hone. I don't know. I should maybe look into getting that. I know it's not hard to get, especially doing it on, on the computer. Just you don't have to have a person in person. You just have to have a program. They have to be able to have the program, but you have to pay for it monthly, and it's just not something that I guess I could have tried. I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to post this, obviously. And if maybe, if he's like, dude, I'd like to talk with you, this and that, maybe I'll look into it again, trying to get, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool just to talk with people. Not debate, because I'm not a good debater. I wouldn't mind getting somebody who's full on liberal, but somebody that I can just talk to, make some jokes, whatever, this and that. Okay, so that's just kind of the information that I found on him. So here is his bio that he sent me. This is his mini bio. Kiwan Amey, Kijuan Amey. He's on Facebook. You can see some interviews he's already done with other podcasters and stuff. But he's the visionary behind Aimey Motivation. Hails from Durham, North Carolina, where his journey of resilience and success began. After graduating from the Southern High School, he dedicated a decade of his life to the U.S. Air Force, achieving the rank of Staff Sergeant as an in-flight refueling specialist. Medically retired, he transitioned into academia. So the thing I got some stuff from must have been from this. Maybe he sends this out to all his podcasters for them to introduce him. Earning a degree and founding Aimey Motivation, formerly served as the vice president for the Carolina Regional Group of the Blinded Veterans Association. Kiwan is also a mentor and ambassador for the Air Force Wounded Warriors Program. Beyond his military career, many talents. Okay, yeah, so this is a lot where I got from. Don't Focus on Me. So that's the name of his book. Don't Focus on Why Me. Which is, that's a big thing, I've been, what's kind of crazy too, is I almost feel like God is trying to tell me something. I hope he's not trying to prepare me for something. But, I talked about the Joe Rogan podcast that had Robert Rodriguez. And I wasn't really like, whatever, I'll listen to it. Just, I like to listen to things when I'm doing cleaning and organizing or doing some sort of honeydew task that I got to get done. I mean, I love some of his movies. I talked about that in another podcast. I'm not going to go into it. Come on! I didn't take my little meth thing. Sorry if I just blew out your ears. You know what? I think I'm going to take one because I kind of have a cold. Ooh, look at ASMR. Ooh, what? Oh, what's he doing? Oh. All right. All right. So I listened to that podcast and I was very inspired by what he had to say. He was a very inspirational, not just because he was a director, but just going about life and the things that he does. And he does, he does like TED Talks and things like that. And so, it was like, wow, okay, it made me think about some stuff. And then I don't think it was the next episode, but the next time I listened to the Rogan podcast, it had the actor. I'll get it. He got tore up by the snowcat. Jeremy Renner. Gosh, take it. I need a mute button. So for those that don't know, he was in the Avengers movies and stuff. He's Hawkeye. But one of my favorite movies. He's in a lot of stuff though. He's actually a really good actor. But I liked Born Legacy was really good. In Town. Anyway, so he got messed up, like almost mutilated, killed. Bones broken, eyeball popped out, all kinds of stuff. Right. Now, for someone to go through to survive, get all the surgeries, and then do the rehabilitation, that takes a lot. It takes a lot. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can go through what he went through and come out the way he has. If you watch that, you'd be like, "What? This is crazy, man." But it's just his attitude, and it's a huge, huge thing. I don't like being a pessimistic. I like people who are optimistic and love life and enjoy the moments, which I try to do, but it's not a natural thing for me. That's why, like, a lot of my friends, a friend of mine who we're not friends anymore because of Trump and stuff, but he would get excited about the littlest things and stuff like that. But it balanced out, the yin and yang kind of thing for me. So it's good for me to have somebody who's like that to balance out my, cynicism or whatever. But, I thought about, like, man, if I had, I've done some physical therapy and I've got injured, but nothing like what he went through. And I was just like, man, if I had to, I got through my physical therapy. It was good. I'm ready to go. But there's so much. Rehabilitation is such a mental game. Life in general is a mental game. It's all about your mentality and your outlook and everything like that. And so I have Rodriguez podcast, that one, and now I got this Kiwan Amey guy kind of reaches out to, and I know it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this guy's so, there's many people like me, I'm sure, but still, it's like, I feel like God's trying to tell me something. And so, I watched some parts of a podcast that he was on, and he's very reserved, he's not like super, but he's inspirational though, and the things that he's had to go through. And like his book right there, Don't Focus on Why Me. That's a big thing. I think that really, it's like the story of Job in the Bible. You can't focus on why me or, all this sucks. Focus on the negativity or the bad stuff instead of focusing on what blessings you have, what's good in life, and what you can do to make it better and just all that stuff, So And I'm constantly, like where I live now, man, it's like I I have a life that many people dream about. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not extravagant, but it's very simple. It's very easy. Yes, it's hot as hell. But, we got air conditioners, so, during the summer we pay a little bit higher electric bill. We're working on getting some uh solar panels, to help mitigate that a little bit. But, I can't, I mean, I've been kind of, my tailbone's been hurting, so I haven't been riding. And, I'm getting rid of this gabapentin out of my system, so it just makes me feel a little, you know. But other than that, I get up and well, now the kids are in summer, so I don't have to get them up and ready for school. But it's just, I don't have any responsibilities, which is great. But at the same time, I think it's not very good either, especially for my brain. You know what I mean? Like, I have to have some structure. I have to have some things set up. So I go through periods where I'll like make a schedule and do some stuff. I drop my dog off to get neutered, one of the dogs. So that's good. I like getting things done. But it's good to surround yourself or expose yourself to individuals like this Kiwan Aimey guy. In those podcasts I talked about, if I would suggest you guys listen to him, check out this Kiwan Aimey guy. I'm going to see what I can do about his book. I might try and see if I can find it on Amazon and give it a read. Because it's, it is helpful. It's helpful to be around that, to read it, to be inspired. Even some of the stupid Hollywood movies, not so much now. They all suck so bad, but, it's just, it's good to have positivity around you, It really is. And it's like I'm at a point in my life where I do see it. I used to be like, whatever, man, screw it. I'm negative. But I don't like to be negative. I don't like to be pessimistic. I don't like to be cynical, you know what I mean? And I don't know if some of that is just my age or if some of it is because of my faith now. That I've kind of, like, I've realized it. I don't know. But, to go for this Kiwan Aimey guy to be, going into his career, his military career, and doing his life, having his life in front of him and having a plan, and then it all goes wrong. He could have just sunk into depression, become an alcoholic, and oh my gosh, my life's over. Why me? Why me? But he didn't. He turned it around, He made lemonade out of lemons, And it's an easy thing to do, but yet it is the hardest thing to do. To have that outlook, He said, one of the podcasts I watched with him in it, he said, and it's like the Rocky quote from, I don't know which one it was. It was one of the later ones. I think one of the ones that wasn't that good, but this quote is awesome. It's like, it's not about, what does he say? Like, so life, nothing beats you up harder than life. And it's not about what knocks you down, but like how hard you can get hit and get back up. Basically, I'm a little off a little bit. But he said the same thing. And it made me think of that quote from that film. It's a great quote. But it's true though, it's like you can't look at, and I think like my mom, she was really bad about that. Like she and that's kind of the thing with like depression. That's, the demons in the world, it's, that it'll kill you, man, slowly, it just eats away at everything. So to have something so catastrophic or so negative hit you and come out of it on the other side, like Kiwan Amey, like Jeremy Renner, to have those huge travesties happen, but still be positive and look forward and work towards being happy and everything. It's, like I said, it's easy, but because it's like all you do is got to look at the positive, but it's so hard to do that. It's easy, but it's not. It's, my computer's doing something weird. All right. So it's just, I don't know, it's pretty inspirational. So I did not, talk to this guy directly. I read you the emails and the correspondence that I had with him. And I appreciate what he's doing. And maybe someday I can actually have him on as an actual guest and just shoot the breeze, not interview so much, but just talk about whatever. Well, yeah, so that's all. This was not really a planned podcast, but he reached out to me, and at first, like, I thought it was is this a scam? Am I going to click on the link for his book? You know what I mean? So I was a little cautious, but I looked him up, and yeah, so he's legit. He seems to be a good guy, from what I can tell. If you're looking for some inspiration or something positive to focus on instead of just the crap in the world, look him up. Check out his book, Don't Focus on Why Me, by Kiwan Amey. Again, it's Kijuan, Kiwan Aimey. But yeah, so I appreciate your guys' time and listening. Let me know what you think. Should I try and get guests to talk to? I don't know. I mean, if I get people like, dude, yeah, you should, I'll get anybody. If you're a listener and you want to just BS with me or something, let me know. We'll figure something out. It's not like we're live streaming, so I mean, if I record something and it turns out not good, then I don't have to post it. But anyway, that's about it. So actually, I did pretty good with my time. Again, stay positive. Love life. Love Jesus. Got a new pope. Hopefully does well. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys next time, and God bless. All right, bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.